This is a difficult time around the subject of money and change, because there are a lot of people hoarding money as a unit of security rather than realising it is in fact a unit of change. And this confusion is what is starving and stifling the world of much needed change. In nature, resources are only hoarded as a result of need. So a squirrel will hold nuts for winter, but the rest of the time it won't. The animals don't hoard their food, they'll just get up and get on with the day. Humans have created massive dams which are blocking and stifling the flow of much needed change. I know with the use of systems like LET systems or alternative economic exchange systems, people are trying to break away from the monopoly of money that's in the world. But this is very difficult because so much historical energy has gone into the existing system. It's not easy to just jump away from it. So how do we open the floodgates and move this unit of change into the much needed hands of the people to bring about change in the community? For this, we have all got to understand that it is because of our wounded relationship with money and to do with our wounded ideology of the future, that it is indeed us, we the people, who are starving the future and our world of the much needed change that is required to bring about the world of the future. It's a difficult concept to express properly without throwing some of you off, and I just hope you can bear with me here because it is quite a complex and abstract subject, especially when so many of us have really vociferously wounded relationships with money because of our judgment of the guy who prints it. So, let's say you're in a community of 5 people. Okay. And you all have a shared dream of the future. But you dream that the world of your future has no money in it because of the problems with it or whatever. So you put on events and you create situations where you say, this is a no-money event and this event is free because the world of the future is free, or people and ideas who are bringing the future are morally are morally defunct and wrong because they charge money for it. And this is part of our flawed relationship with the concept of money. And what it means is that we actually starve the future of much needed change because we limit the types of change which we allow to be used to bring it about. So, we have labour and barter are the 2 common ones that people encourage at these new age events or these new future events. So come along for this free event. But actually it's a lie. It lacks a full spectrum. And the full spectrum perspective is to recognise that anybody coming along to these events will have paid for their travel. They will have, you can't barter for petrol. You can't barter or labour your way on the train to get to an event that's allegedly free. And then all the people who are putting on the skills and the services at said free event of the future have all paid for them, either with labour or cash. I'm not saying that it's not possible to have an event that's free and truly based on labour alone. Of course it is. What I'm saying is that too many people have a myopic perspective that's overly utopian that tries to dismiss the role of money in today's culture and therefore the role of money in making the world of the future. So by starving these events and these people of the much needed money, we end up starving the future. What we say is the world of the future will have to be brought about by aliens and saviours because we don't want to pay for it. The world of the future will have to be brought about by benevolent quintillionaires because we don't want to invest in it. Now, here's an interesting thing. All of us get a certain amount of this stuff, this money stuff. Whether it's a little or a lot, it doesn't matter. We all get some of it. If we are not spending it on the world of the future, it means that we can only be spending it on the world of the past, or the world of the now. What that means is that for every bit of change we get in, we spend it to maintain a state. Because we're not investing it in our dreams of the future, there is only one other thing it can go on, and that is treading water or sustaining the existing system, which is a state. And I mean state in terms of like solid, liquid, gas, that sort of thing. It's rigid, it stays. So, you can see now that state and change are actually the opposite poles of each other. And so if you want to maintain a state, then what you've got to do is stifle the change, don't you? We, as the people who use labour, which is the only true base wealth, can bring about the change of state that's needed by choosing more carefully what we do with this token of change. I'm going to give you an example and we'll go through this. So just say this is me and I go out and I do work and I earn £20. So I go out and I earn my £20. If I don't believe that my community uses money and I believe the world of my future doesn't have money in it, then I've got nowhere else to spend this but the old world. Whoop. So the 20 goes back out. It hasn't hit my community, so this unit of change, this very flexible unit of change, I've just starved my community of it. Now, because I'm going and spending it in places that don't shop in my community, so Mr. Tesco doesn't shop in my community, Mr. Primark doesn't shop in my community, Mr. whoever, or Mrs., all of these big street chains, Mr. Costa, blah, 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 all these people, the reason they're exploding and expanding so much is because we're spending all our change on them. How do you think they got to be so big? We paid for it. We are the ones who maintain all of that. And every time we're doing it, we are the ones that are starving our communities. So when you see all the shops closing down on the high street and the empty businesses all going out of business, it's because you won't spend on them. You'd rather go to big names or big corporates or whatever, and it really infuriates me that I'll see people happily go into an Apple store and hand over hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of pounds for stuff without batting an eyelid, but they would cringe at looking a brother in the eye and saying, I love what you do so much, I'd rather the money went to you. Yeah, no, you don't do the job quite as well as big Mr. Corporate blah blah, but I would rather see the money go to a human being that's going to spend it on another human being. And this is a spending philosophy I've been using for the last couple of years since I clocked onto all of this stuff. And it's really quite powerful. So let's have a look. Now, I'm pretty convinced this is what the Jews have done, right? And it's now why they managed to place themselves at the top of many financial edifices. And here's how you do it. It's really not difficult. Here's your community. Spend your money in it. That's it. Watch this. My £20 comes in. I owe £20 to Sally here. So the 20 goes there. Sally's well chuffed because she's just got the 20 quid I was due her. Sally likes what Bob makes. And okay, she knows she can go and buy it from, MFI or B&Q and it might be a little bit more polished or whatever. But because she's now making an ethical spending choice, understanding that she wants to create a humane world of the future and bring about a change of state in the world, it's a conscious choice. Yes, you may have to drop certain standards temporarily, but trust me, it will only be temporary, and what will result will be increased creativity, but that's for a future point. So let's say the £20 moves there. This person, can't remember his name, happens to like what this person does, which happens to be growing food, thankfully. So, we move the food over there and give 20 quid to them rather than the ridiculous price of foods in the supermarkets these days. I just want to pick on Morrison's for a moment in the UK. So they're really playing with the prices of basics like butter and carrots and things like that. So I've seen butter change from, huge amounts to silly amounts back down to normal amounts again. But carrots, I just want to point this out. This is amazing. 2013, a couple of months ago, organic carrots at Morrison's were 25 pence each. Okay? So there was a bag of organic carrots with 4 carrots in every bag. And if a carrot is 25p a pop at Morrison's, where's all that money going? Because it's not going to the farmer, that's for sure. They've changed it now and you now get 5 organic carrots for 85 pence. Still, absolute robbery. So, please, don't be afraid to pay somebody for the veg that they're growing if they give it to you. They might want to give you it for free, but please just acknowledge the universal law of exchange and give something back for it as well. Okay? The problem with people with a gift economy consciousness is that they want it all given to them. We must remember exchange, and then we can have equilibrium and real change. Anyway, pardon the vegetable rant there. I have to say, when I commented on that on Morrison's website, they've got on Facebook, they've got loads of trolls that just wait for anybody to say anything bad about them and they all pounce on you. So beware of that, but all the corporate buggers are at it. Anyway, I'm really digressing, I do apologise. The £20 has now moved this way for the veg. This person owes this person £20, here we go. And this person likes what I do and knows that I'm strapped for time and cash with all the stuff that I'm doing, and now a new baby as well, so it's 2 babies as well. And they're like, Darren mate, I like that so much, here's 20 quid for you. Don't want you to worry about food or nappies for your family for a day or two, here you go. And I'm like, wow, thank you so much, I can now maybe sew the holes in my jumper. Okay, so 20. That's why I'm keeping my arms tightly down here. So £20 coming back to me. Now it's the exact same £20 note, the exact same note. But if we have a look at what's happened, I'm happy. I've got it back. But that's it. That one £20 has just settled 20, 40, 60, 80, £100 worth of liability, and it has created £100 worth of equity in our community. Everybody's happy and satisfied, temporarily of course, but what's happened is the money is still in circulation in our community and it's settled all this well. So that £20 isn't £20 anymore. It's 120 quid. I'm still going because I've still got it. And as long as I keep spending in the community, that can become 1,200. It can become 12,000. It can become 12 million as long as we keep spending it on each other. I'm pretty sure that's what the Jews did. Now, don't get me started on that, doesn't matter. Just pause on that for a moment. This is how you make your community strong and wealthy. And then when the community does need something to bring about change from the outside, it can do so. Because it's still got the £20. So at any point, anybody along here has the free will to say, actually, nobody in the community has what I need, I've got to pop out for it. I've got to pop out for it. But if everybody's doing that, and only popping out of the community to get what they cannot get within the community, then the community gets stronger and stronger, then everybody feels wealthier and wealthier, and all of a sudden what we're actually doing is starving the banks. We're robbing the big corporates of money that would normally go to them. Honestly, just think about that. This could change the world in just a few months if everybody stopped spending on the corporates and started spending on each other. It would change it within the space of 6 months, a year. No problem. Job done. State would be changed. What else did I want to say about this? Just make your community strong. Please, spend on each other.